I just wanted to make this quick video to share all about launching guided math. I want to kind of give you an overview of the different rotations that I do and how the different materials that I have work together to help you create the math block that works for you and for your students. So first off, I just want to show you this How to Launch Guided Math Guide. This is free. It's a free download, and I'll put the link in the comments area. But it's a step-by-step guide that teaches you, it just gives you some tips and helpful things to get you launched, but it also will go through and give you day by day. So for example, week 1, this is what we say on day 1, this is what we do on day 1. Here is our lesson, and then what am I going to introduce today. It also has links to resources that you might find helpful, but again, you can use any curriculum that works for you and for your class. So look for that free download. It'll help you day by day on what to focus on to get your guided math groups up and running from the beginning of the school year. Next, I have materials for kinder, first, and second, but I chose first grade to show you just this little demo lesson, what it might look like going from whole group into the stack rotations and what that is. So for whole group, this comes from Unit 1, which is number sense, and I'm going to go to the day 7. So let's say I'm teaching day 7's lesson and it's all about even or odd. So my kiddos are going to do a whole group lesson with me on the carpet. Part of this lesson is we are going to each get a tower of 10 cubes, and these ones come from ETA Hand to Mind, and you can your school can order them, or you can order them right online. So each student would get a tower of 10, and previous to this lesson we've been building a number line and using red and blue plates as even and odd markers. And we've been talking about those things, but we haven't actually gotten to the nitty-gritty of what it means to be even and odd. So we also have the book, Even Stephen and Odd Todd, and we have read that book. And now it's time to really decide if numbers are even or odd, and we're going to have the power to be able to know that by using these cubes. So what we'll do is we will practice building different numbers with the cubes. So let's say I need to find out if the number 3 is even or odd. I'm going to do my best to make partners. I can make one set of partners, but I have one oddball cube that has no partner. So I know that the number 3 is odd because I can try my best to make that cube have a partner, but no matter where I put it, it's odd. So that's how I know. So we're going to go through different numbers together and build them and decide if they're even or odd. If we can make partners for every number, then we know that, of course, that number is even. So for example, if I'm building the number 10 and everyone has a partner, then 10 is even. All right, moving on. So that would be my mini lesson. From there, I would then launch into small groups. And for my small group lesson on day 7, I'm still launching. I'm still teaching my students what that means. So rather than doing a small group lesson, I'm going to take that time and I'm going to teach my rotations. The rotations that I choose to do go along with the acronym STACK. So the S stands for small group, and that's a lesson with me at the small group table, and I have my kids' ability grouped. Then the next rotation that my students will go to will be technology. So it might be a math website or a math game or a math app on a device. And I do have a list of links and websites on my blog that I like to use. The A apply station is all about independent practice. So it could be a printable like this one that would go along with the lesson. And I always try to give my students manipulatives to go along with their seat work if needed. So for example, here the students are going to build these numbers again, but this time by themselves, and they're going to glue these numbers either on even or odd. So this time they are taking control of the learning. and trying it without the guidance of our mini lesson. If I don't have a printable, then you might have a workbook that your school provides that you are following. So for example, here at the beginning of the school year, I would probably choose an activity like this where I am reviewing my concepts from kindergarten, or might be doing number formation. I might be writing numbers and circling the set that's greater. Anything like that where it's just readiness, where I'm getting prepared for concepts that I'm going to be learning more about in first grade. So the workbook is great for the apply station if you have one that you're tied to with your curriculum and you want a way to plug that time in. The create station is our math journal. So what I do is I make an example journal of all of the activities for the year. This, of course, didn't happen overnight. I went week by week, month by month, until I finally had the journal finished for the year. But now I know what activities I like to do in what order. And what this does for you is it helps you with format. So you can teach your kids the format of the page, but they will be filling in any answers or writing that needs to be done. So let's say that we're going to give our students this activity to do, and this is a missing addend activity up to the number 5. Again, I always want to give them manipulatives if at all possible. So students would take 5 cubes and they would figure out the missing addend. So 2 plus blank equals 5. Here they know they have a tower of 5. So they're going to put the 2 on there that they know they have, and they're going to count to see how many more they need to make 5. So they would write in 3. And then they would continue on to the next one, 4 plus blank. So they'd put their 4 on there and see that they need 1 more, so they'd write the 1. And so that would be an example of the create activity. And then finally, kinesthetic. For kinesthetic, I'm going to do a math tub activity, a hands-on practice. I grabbed one from the August and September Math Center bundle that I have. Again, I want to give them manipulatives of any sort that will help them understand the concept. So since this one is about packing a lunch, I gave them some Apple mini erasers. So I like to teach my centers, as I wrap up the whole group lesson, I like to say, okay, boys and girls, today when you go to Math Tub today, you will be doing a center called Pack a Lunch. In this center, you and your partner will lay out the lunch boxes. Of course, they're going to put them in numerical order. And then they have to pack the lunch. So they take a card. I'm trying to see what you can see in the camera. This card says 5 plus 4. If they're not sure what that is, then they can use the apples to count out 5 plus 4. Once they determine, oh, I'm sorry, you can't see that. I have a nice little 5 frame of apples and 4 on the bottom. Once they determine that 5 plus 4 is 9, they would pack it under the 9 lunch box. And I know that you're probably not seeing that. Okay, then they take the next card, 1 plus 3. And they say, oh, that's 4, I know that. So they would find the 4 lunch box and pack that cookie into that lunch box. So I like to have mine working in partners, even if it's just a matching activity like this, where they have to match the sum to the addition problem. So what I might do is either give them half and half, like I might do lunch boxes 2 through 5 over here and 6 through 10 over here, and then they switch. So one of them's a little bit easier, one of them's more difficult, but they have a chance to do both sets, and that stretches the activity out for 4 kids. Or make 2 sets of this and have 2 kids doing the entire thing at once on 2 different pocket charts or at 2 different areas in your classroom. So that's kind of the whole rundown of how Stack works. I have materials for the whole group and small group. I also have materials for Math Journal, and I have materials for the centers. Now the centers also come with journals and printables, which help fill your Create station and your Apply station. But the good news is, even if you get the centers bundle that has journals in it, they do not overlap with the regular Math Journal that I have through the year. What it does is give you more to choose from. And then a lot of times, because I might not have a recording sheet for this activity, I might have a journal page that goes along with it. And sometimes I know teachers love to match things up, so that might be a great option. So you can take the journal page that kind of goes along with Pack-A-Lunch and do it on this same day. It's up to you, and I try to keep it versatile so that there's a little something for everybody. But I do like to have spiral review for my rotation. So even if I'm learning a new concept and I'm teaching even and odd, it doesn't mean that all of my rotations are going to be about even or odd. My rotations are going to help me solidify those concepts that have been previously taught, that I know students are independent on but could still grow in and develop more fluency in. So that's what that's all about. All right, I hope this helped give you kind of a glimpse of what guided math might look like and what rotations you could possibly choose. Of course, the great thing about guided math is that there's no one perfect formula. You can create the type of math block that works for your students, that works for you, with the resources that you have. I'm just here to hopefully help answer questions and provide materials that might work for you. All right, talk to you later. Bye.